Hi guys. Okay, I was reminded today about this awesome paper that I got back in treatment. It was the first treatment center that I went to, and I didn't really, I read the paper, but I wasn't able to comprehend or receive the information that was being given to me because I was not in the right place for my brain to be able to understand it. So it wasn't until, so I was given this paper about three years ago. 3 years ago. And so it wasn't until about a year ago when I had my mental breakdown that I was actually able to read it and use it. So, what I mean by that is that what I did with this paper, and I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll add a picture of it so that you can have a copy of it and you can use it as well. But what I did is I read this paper over and over. Every single morning I would go into the bathroom and I would read it facing myself, because this was me telling myself what was happening, like what was going on, and actually talking to myself in a way. Like some people will go in front of the mirror and tell themselves I love you and stuff like that. This was me giving myself a speech, more or less. And so it's very, 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 very powerful. Now, what I recommend is that you go and you stand in front of the mirror and you do this every morning or at whatever time works for you. I did it in the morning because I felt like that was the most powerful, like to kind of like, I think mornings are the most powerful because it kind of like transcends the rest of the day, you know? So, and it's okay if you read it and there's no emotion there. There's just like the more and more and more times you read it, the more and more you're going to feel it. Okay? So, this one is a great accountability. And it's also telling yourself that you're just not going to take it anymore. You're just not going to do it anymore. This is the final straw. Okay? It's called The First Decision for Success. The buck stops here. Now, doesn't matter what you define success as. I see success in so many things. Success can be in overcoming an addiction. Success can be getting a new job that pays you better. Success can be in spending some real quality time with your kids. Success can be even having a good argument where people are heard, not yelling match. I'm not talking about like having a good argument, good communication with your teenager, and both sides are heard and then both sides are understood, and you have like feelings that are resolved in that situation. That can be success. Anything can be success. So don't define like success as just being, oh, I won the lottery. That is success. Or I am a millionaire now. No, like count all the little successes, because it's those little successes that create the big successes. So, you have to start at the very micro level to be able to actually create success in your life. The habits, stuff like that, the little things. Okay, I'll stop preaching. Let me move my soapbox real quick. Just kidding. Here we go. From this moment forward, I will accept responsibility for my past. I understand that the beginning of wisdom is to accept the responsibility for my own problems, and that by accepting responsibility for my past, I free myself to move into a bigger, brighter future of my own choosing. Never again will I blame my parents, spouse, boss, or other employees for my present situation. Neither my education, nor lack of one, my genetics, or the circumstantial ebb and flow of everyday life will affect my future in a negative way. If I allow myself to blame these uncontrollable forces for my lack of success, I will be forever caught in a web of the past. I will look forward. I will not let my history control my destiny. The buck stops here. I accept responsibility for my past. I am responsible for my success. I am where I am today, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because of decisions I have made. My decisions have always been governed by my thinking. Therefore, I am where I am today, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because of how I think. Today, I will begin the process of changing where I am, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, by changing the way I think. My thoughts will be constructive, never destructive. My mind will live in the solutions of the future. It will not dwell in the problems of the past. I will seek the association of those who are working and striving to bring about positive changes in the world. I will never seek comfort by associating with those who have decided to be comfortable. When faced with the opportunity to make a decision, I will make one. I understand that God did not put in me the ability to always make right decisions. He did, however, put in me the ability to make a decision and then make it right. The rise and fall of my emotional tide will not deter me from my course. When I make a decision, I will stand behind it. My energy will go into making the decision. I will waste none on second thoughts. My life will not be an apology. It will be a statement. The buck stops here. I control my thoughts. I control my emotions. In the future, when I am tempted to ask the question, "Why me?" I will immediately counter with the answer, "Why not me?" Challenges are gifts, opportunities to learn. Problems are the common thread to running through the lives of great men and women. In times of adversity, I will not have a problem to deal with. I will have a choice to make. My thoughts will be clear. I will make the right choice. Adversity is preparation for greatness. I will accept this preparation. Why me? Why not me? I will be prepared for something great. I accept responsibility for my past. I control my thoughts. I control my emotion. I am responsible for my success. The buck stops here. And that was written by Andy Andrews. I love that one. Now, for me, what I did is I read it every day. I don't even remember how long I read it every day. At least by 30 days, somewhere in there. But I'm going to be honest. This is something that I would recommend that you do it the least 30 and the most like 90. And I say that 90 days because if you are someone like me who has had intense trauma and has a lot of mental health issues as well, multiple, and I don't want to say like that's so negative. Let me change that. Mental health. I don't even know what's the word to put for that one. Like the positive spin on that one. I don't know. I'll figure out a positive way to say mental health issues. I will. Just wait. But having, CPTSD, ADHD, there's even possible autism and other things on there on the spectrum of so many other spectrums. It's one of those things that Also, like I've been diagnosed with, oh, I can't even think of the word now. It just escaped me. See, it's there. Um, I would recommend doing it for as long as the six brain, work with me, please. The 90 days. I would use the 90 days because that really hammers it in, because this is so important to get out of that victim mindset, because there are 4 different categories in levels of consciousness. And the to me is the state of victimhood. So when you're running around telling people that this happened to me and that happened to me and I lost this and I, this, all of that, that's living still in that victim mindset. When you want to step out of victim mindset, it's a very tough area. You're stepping into owning a lot of the stuff that you have done. And that's a tough area to be in, because there's a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of anger and a lot of pain in owning the things that you did, because it's so much easier to point the finger. Where when you finally take accountability of what part you played, it can be overwhelming and it can be very hard to do, because when you finally point out that you are the creator of your own reality and that you have been the one allowing things to happen or inadvertently manifesting things to happen, that's hard to admit, because then you have to take full responsibility. And sometimes whenever you step into that area of taking full responsibility, it can be a little overwhelming, because then you feel awful for all the things that you did, because you never wanted to be the bad guy or the person that was like hurting other people, because you stayed in that victim frame for so long that you felt like your actions were just. And so I personally have stayed, I lived in victim stance for a very long time. It was a very rough area. I felt justified in everything that I did. I felt like, I was only defending myself, like many things. I cannot tell you all of them here because there's so many little itty bitty areas that I can go into. But this is a great way to start stepping more into everything is happening for me. This is where you're taking accountability. This is where you're finally saying, hey, I own what I have done. And now you have to, when you step into that, I warn you, you are having to feel the feelings of guilt and shame and pain. And, you're going to experience those negative feelings, those lower chakra feelings, which are unpleasant. And we all have done things to avoid feeling those feelings, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It could be eating, or it could be drugs, or it could be drinking, or it could be television, or it could be so many different things, like relationships, all this kind of stuff. All of these things are your way of avoiding in having to deal with those harder, denser feelings. There are better ways, I promise. There are. And so I wanted to share this with people, because this is kind of like that first step in facing those demons, in having to actually go into and feel those feelings and deal with those things. It's not pretty by any means. I will not lie to you and tell you that it's cupcakes and sunshine and rainbows. Woo, yeah. No. You are having to face demons and darkness and pain and suffering and feelings that you have spent years trying to shove that stuff down. And that's okay. It is possible. And, I get it. I truly get it. You can do it though. My go-to for whenever I have to face things like this is I have to remind myself, I have made it through worse shit and survived. I can do this. That's where I go mentally. And then I just do it because I give myself no ultimatum. It's either I do it or I die. That's it. I do it or I die. And that's kind of like the mentality that I have to keep with my own self to be able to like really force myself to go down this uncomfortable road, because I will try to avoid it. I can find anything to avoid having to deal with crappy emotions. I mean, come on now. If you're an addict and if you're someone that has had a lot of crappy things, yeah, you find anything to do that. So I get it. I'm going to keep posting more stuff on here to help out. And, I much love to all the people out there that are going out and doing the hard stuff. It is no easy task to heal yourself. It isn't. And nobody can do it for you. Nobody can save you. You have to save yourself. You have to go in and you have to save that little child that is hiding in the depths of that heart of yours. And you have to go in there and you have to nurture that child back to health. You have to gain trust with that child again. You have to nurture that child back into health. You have to go in and actually build a bond and reconnect and become cohesive to be able to allow that child to heal and grow and become who they're meant to be. But that's something that you have to do. And I hate saying the word have to. I don't like using that terminology because you don't have to do anything. You decide. So the better way to say it is like, you get to choose to do it. And I can tell you from my own firsthand experience that I chose. Oh Lord, did I choose. And I will tell you that I have never felt so good in my entire life. I have never, ever loved myself as much as I do now. And this is just a small amount of love that I have for myself. I'm still building that. It's still growing. But the peace that I have within is so strong and so beautiful. I am so grateful that I chose to save myself. I am so grateful that I chose to heal myself. I am so grateful that I chose to reconnect and save that inner child of myself. I'm so grateful. So, I just wanted to leave this with you guys, and I will post a picture, like I said, so that you can have a copy as well. Or if you want to Google it, that works too. I'm a Googler as well. But I want to tell you that I love you and I believe in you. And if I can do it, you can do it. I have faith. Love you.